Okay, so today we're going to be talking about how I was diagnosed. Like most people, I was diagnosed with by an EEG. They saw the seizure activity on the EEG and they said she has absence seizures, a classic case of it. So, prior to being diagnosed, I started having them when I was around 5 years old, but they were very, very seldom, like once a week, once a month. They almost never happened. Well, they got more frequent when they were happening daily, and I always thought, and we have them caught on home videos, that I was just kind of daydreaming, and that's what my mom thought too, until she realized, like, hey, I can't snap my daughter out of it, something's going on. So we went, and I had an EEG, and the doctor was like, you have seizures, and at the time I thought it was like the flu, something I was just like, oh, I have seizures, and it's like the flu, I'm just gonna outgrow it. I didn't realize that it was a chronic illness. Like, I was a little kid. I was a baby. So, I went home and I remember telling, like, all my family and being this weird little, just jittery child who thought it was kind of cool to have a chronic illness because I didn't understand. So, they glued all the electrodes on my head and they said, act like you're blowing out candles. We're going to put strobes in your eyes. And after they did all that, they gave me my diagnosis. My mom was pretty upset. I could tell something was wrong, but I didn't really realize what was going on. And then there was like a group of college students there. And they were like, hey, there's a group of college students. Can we do it again on your daughter so that they can see how an EEG is done and write a report on EEGs? And I was like, yeah, that's cool. So they did it again, and somewhere out there's like 20 papers on me. That's kind of cool. And then they put me on lamotrigine, and that's the first medication they tried. It's a liquid medication. I absolutely hated it. It made me nauseated. I was throwing up. So I was like, hey mom, I'd rather just have the seizures. And I often wonder, like, if I'd kept taking it, if as a child they would have been more under control. But I don't know, because I'm drug intolerant. Like, I don't respond well to drugs. So it's either tolerant or intolerant. I don't know. But anyway, that's how I was diagnosed. Some people, they just know because, like, if you have a grand mal seizure or a partial complex or something like that, like, obviously you're going to be able to recognize it. But for me, absence seizures, we didn't even know what it was until we got home and researched it, and they gave us this packet of, like, things to do, things I was allowed to do, things I wasn't allowed to do, which I never followed. Rebel me! Anyway, so, yeah, that's how I was diagnosed.